So we're doing chapter 12. I need to close all of these things of mine. IPv6 addressing. It's a very important chapter. Let me connect my charger. So this is what we're going to cover. You can read in the meantime. I'm going to charge this guy. Come here. Yeah, so I'll try to make it very short and simple for you because LetterCAD sometimes we give too much info. And at the end of the day, students will get confused. So let me allow people in. One. Okay. So chapter IPv6 has been created because of what? Let me check. Having IPv6 has been created. It's like cell phone numbers. 081565210, and we created another one, another type. So IPv6 has been created because IPv4 is almost finished. So IPv6 has been created as a successor of IPv4. So it's quite long. And yeah. So companies that allocate IP addresses, IPv4, IPv6. In America, this is the name. In Africa, it's Afrinic. So if you want an IP address, you go to your ISP, let's say Telcom. But Telcom, Vodacom, MTN, all these guys, the big ISP, they go to the big boss, Afrinic. They go there, they buy, then they give to companies or to individuals. So it's important to do some research on that. And because IPv4 is still there, so in your company, you can enable only IPv4 or IPv6 or both. So if I take mine out of CMD, then I tap ipconfig. If I want to check some properties on my network interface card, ipconfig, we did that at essentials now, ipconfig /all. And because I'm using, if I was using a network cable, I should check Ethernet adapter. Ethernet, it means network cable, but I'm not using network cable, I'm using Wi-Fi. So I go to wireless, Wi-Fi. You see here, my ISP is giving me IPv6 address. This is an example of IPv6 address. And this is an example of IPv4 address. So you see, with IPv6, we have FDBA numbers, and that's why we did chapter 5, number systems first. When you do number systems, then we can do IP. Physical address or MAC address, it's only one. But logical address or IP address, we have two, IPv4 and IPv6. And we did that, no? We did that. So any device on a network needs two addresses, the physical address of MAC address and logical address or IP. For logical address, we have two types of IP, IPv4 and IPv6. And these are some examples. You can check these two, and we continue. So you can see that the IPv6 is quite long. So we're going to check how to manage that. So IPv4, it's 4 blocks or 4 octaves. Octet means you have 8 ones. So we have 1 block, 2, 3, 4. IPv6, it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 blocks. So in a network, you can join both. You can configure only IPv4 or only IPv6 or both. So these are some ways of doing it. So you can read this one quickly and continue. I'm checking WhatsApp with some question for IPv6. Chapter 2. Okay. I want to copy it or forward. Yeah, so if you check in the WhatsApp group, you'll see some questions there. Okay. So how IPv6 are? It's 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's hexadecimals. You can find DB, some letters. And so you can also check this. So now, sometimes when you have too many zeros, and we have some rules to remove them. So we have 2 rules. Rule number 1, how to omit leading zeros. For example, here you have 0, 1, you can remove a 0 and keep it like that. Only leading 0, not behind, but in front. Yeah, so check this one. And also check down here. Preferred and no leading zeros. We remove leading zeros. So check this example and down here also. Okay, so after that, so we'll do some example. So if you see here, I have 4 zeros, so I can remove 3 to keep only 1. Anything if you had 3 zeros, you can remove the front ones. Okay. And we also have this one. Double colon. So if you have a lot of zeros, so you see here, for example, I have a lot of zeros following each other. I can replace all of them by double colon. So you see here after 111, because I have so many zeros following each other, I can replace them by double colon. And you see. And we can have only one double colon in a number, not here and somewhere here. No, only once. So very important. So check this one. Okay, so we'll be doing some examples. So tomorrow, with everyone, we'll do revisions. I'll bring some questions, and we're going to do general revisions. So IPv6, we have three types, three groups: unicast, multicast, and anycast. We have three groups. But in these three groups, only the first one will be, it's this one that we'll be using, the unicast. Also, when you go in that unicast, you have six, but we'll use only two. We'll use global unicast, we mostly use, and link local. So check these six, and I check, you can read this slide. So we'll have time to do some examples, and so no worries. So for now, we do, who want to log on? Is it here? Yeah. So this is it. So also when you have an IPv6 address, because it's 8 blocks, if you divide, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, the very first four uh, is for the manufacturer. I'm going to show you an example. And the last four is for interface ID. So the first four, we can call it the prefix, and the last four is the interface ID. So you can read also this one, this slide, very important. Okay. So for those who joined late, we're doing IPv6. IPv4 is almost finished. That's why we are creating IPv6 to be used. And we'll see how it's represented, some types, and some few configs. That's all. So I give you what will most important. In EtherCAD, we give too much info, it's confusing. So IPv4 is almost finished. That's why IPv6 has been created. These are the companies per country, per continent managing IP addresses. Because we have IPv4 and IPv6, it's up to you in your network. You can run IPv4 only or IPv6 only or both. There are some techniques to do that. IPv6, how it is, it's 8 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also hexadecimal numbers. That's why you can see DB, A. We have some rules. When you have some leading zeros, for example, if you have a block with a 0, you can remove it to keep it like that. See? Not behind the numbers, but leading before you can remove. Same thing for here. You can remove that 0 to keep. You have 4 zeros, you can remove 3 to keep 1, and so forth. Double colon, when you have too many zeros following each other, you can replace all of them by a double colon. So a double colon is only once in a number, not twice. You see. Always you repeat all of them by double colon. We have three families: unicast of IPv6, unicast, multicast, unicast. What we use a lot is unicast. In unicast, we have 6 types: global unicast and link local, loopback, and all this stuff. We use the first 2 that we'll be using in our configurations. So the definition of these 2 is here. When we do some labs, we'll use a lot. So let us ready for Saturday, the 20, for next month, the Saturday, the 16. They send me the invoice to say that it's free. Yeah, so normally on Friday, I will confirm that we'll be going at Cape Town Sun Center next month. The Saturday, it will be a long one from 9 to 4. We'll do a lot of labs. So please don't miss it. ATRN, as usual, will be there with IT Essential, the new group IT Essential guys. So when you have a IP v6, because it's 8 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first blocks is called the prefix, and the last 4 is the interface ID. We'll do some labs, so no worries. So you have always a /26, 64, always. Yeah, so the very first blocks, with 3 blocks, the very first 3 blocks is global routing prefix, and the fourth one is the subnet ID. So here we don't do subnetting. It's only a number that will identify an office. For example, IT office, it will be 1. Marketing office will be 2. I'll show you an example. So here we don't do subnetting like IT Essential. How do you call it? CCNA. IPv4, sorry. I'll show you an example. Yeah, subnet, you see. So subnetting here, we don't do like IPv4. The first 4 blocks, the first 3 will be global unit, and the fourth one will be subnet ID. It's only a number. So you see here, 1, 2, 3. It's the prefix. Normally, it's given by the ISP. And yourself, if you want to identify a network, you give a number. You see, each number is a network, a different network. You can also check that. And if we need to configure, I'm showing you an example of configuration. You see, you go to the interface, global config mode, interface G 000, IPv6 address, and you add. So this number will be given to you in the questions, and no shutdown. So this is how we configure IPv6. Very simple. You can also have a look. So you can see here 1, 2, 3. Number 1, it's one network. 1, 2, 3, the same thing. 2, it's another network. 1, 2, 3, the same number. But the fourth one is another number or a subnet. So yeah, so normally I can say that's all for IPv6. Let me check if I can. Anything else, will you do some labs? I'll send you some examples. Yeah. Anything else? It's too much info. It's not. So for IPv4, show IP interface brief, but for IPv6, show IPv6 interface brief to view all the IPv6 addresses. Okay, what else? Okay, anything else you can skip? Now, because the first two IP configuration we'll be doing, I did show you the first one. This is the second one, link local. It's only an address between the device and the router. Yeah, nothing else. It's just for fun. So a link local address is only an address between a PC, a device, and a router. That's all. It always starts with FE80. So this is an example of how we configure IPv6 link local. You can check that. Okay. So now you know, now if you want to configure this is an example from your PC. So this one we'll do a lab later. So we did say that for IPv6 we have two big ones. Okay, so normally that's all. I'm going to show you my my file. No, this one what? This is the one. Yes. So IPv6. What is it? IPv6, IPv6, IPv6. What is that IPv6 thing? IPv6, IPv6, IPv6. Okay, it's almost there. IPv4, IP. Okay, what is that? What is it? Okay, yeah. So a quick revision. So what you should know for IPv6, why we need IPv6, and all of this stuff. So leading zeros, different type of IPv6. We did see that we have three groups. Only unicast is the most used, and in unicast we have six, and we use the first two. We global and we link local. How IPv6 is represented, how to omit leading zeros and with double colon. Yeah, so this is how it is. Uh, so we use global unicast and link local the most. You can read this one. So global unicast, it always starts with 2000, 2001. Link local, it always starts with FE80. You see here. Now, how to configure. So, yeah, this one also, I need to explain. Yeah, so this is the explanation of what is global routing. The first three blocks is global routing prefix. The fourth block is subnet ID. And the last four blocks is interface ID. So these are some explanation here. You can also read that. Let's make it like that so that you can see. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you have time to check in your in chapter 12 in AutoCAD. And this is also an example. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first three, you see it's a global unicast. The fourth one is a subnet in purple. And the last three is the interface. You can also check that. It's not difficult. Huh? The only thing that we will need to do is the configurations. The two configs I show you, that's all. Anything else is only theory. And also we'll use the command IPv6 unicast routing a lot. Before you start configuring IPv6, you can enable this one. In the global config mode, you tap IPv6 to start using IPv6. This is an example of a config that you should know, the first one. And this is the second one that we'll be using, the link local. So you go to the interface, IPv6 address, FE80 and what, but you add link local, then no shutdown. Okay, normally that's all for IPv6. If you know these two configuration, it's fine. Anything else is only some readings that we don't need for us. We just need only these two comments. That's all. Yeah. Okay, any questions? I'll post the recording tonight or tomorrow morning. So let's say tomorrow morning. And also in the class WhatsApp group, I did post some questions that could help you for revisions. Yeah, so anytime also, as you know, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. You ask in the group, and we'll help you. Okay, thank you so much, guys. We are almost there. We are almost finished. The first part of CCNA, we have 3. That's why you'll get 6 certificates at the end. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and see you tomorrow. We do general revisions with everyone now from tomorrow. I'll give you an example of IPv6, an example of subnetting, an example of anything. We do global revisions tomorrow for everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and see you tomorrow.